video I want to speak about the father-son relationship and how that is very similar to a Sifu and Todai relationship, and how it could be a Sifu, it could be a sensei, it could be a master, or whatever you want to call it. The martial art traditional way of training with responsibility. So there's a deeper relationship. It's not just what most people are familiar with, which is just like the athlete and the coach. It's not that. The athlete and the coach is just what we see in the West. You might have the basketball player and then the coach. Alright? The football player and the coach. The figure skater and the coach. Athlete and the coach. And now boxer and the coach. Alright, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about right now is a Sifu disciple. Sifu Todai. Master-disciple relationship. Like a father-son relationship. And what do I mean by that? When you talk about martial arts, you're talking about something more serious. You're talking about lethal things. You're not talking about just playing a game. It's not just basketball. It's not just football. You're talking about lethal techniques of combat that could really hurt people badly. You could blind somebody. You could break a person's teeth, his nose, his bones. You could take a person's life. You could choke him to death. You could stab him to death. You could hit him in the head really hard with a stick or a weapon or whatever weapon, and you could kill him. You damage brain cells. You permanently disfigure somebody. You put people in great bodily harm. So it requires responsibility. You're not just playing a game. It's not just like playing chess. It's not like playing tennis. It's not like dancing. It's not like playing piano. So you need somebody that's closer to you than just a coach. You need somebody that knows you deep within, engages your inner development as a mature human being to see if you're ready and capable of being responsible with what you're being taught. Responsibility is a huge thing. So a father and a son, the father gives, is the beginning to the son's life. The son is within the father. The father makes love with a woman, his wife, girlfriend, whoever. She gets pregnant. The son starts from the father. The woman gives birth. The child's life begins. The child is completely weak at the beginning. Helpless. If you don't feed him, he'll die. If you don't give him affection, he'll die. The father and the mother both work together to raise the child, help him grow to become strong. So the child starts off very weak. The father helps the child to become strong and capable. For a majority of those years, the child will always be weaker than the father. The father keeps raising the child, keeps helping him grow to become strong. Eventually, one day, if the child has good discipline, will become stronger than the father, because the father will get older. Now when the child gets stronger than the father, and the child wants to now kill the father because he's stronger, there's something wrong there. Or now that he's stronger than the father, now he wants to hurt the father, there's something wrong there. Spiritually, there's something incorrect. There should always be a deep understanding within the child that the father is always the one over him, an authority over him. He should always be thankful to the father for giving life and helping him grow to become strong. The father could have very easily taken the life of the son when he was weak, but he didn't. He allowed the child to grow to become strong. So the child should never feel that he's above the father. The father is always above the child, no matter how strong the child is. The child may be strong, and then he may have his own children, and then he becomes a father as well. But he has a father over him. There's always that respect for the authority over him. If there is ever that lack, the child more than likely will be disowned. So you take it in the context of the martial arts. The Sifu-disciple relationship. The Sifu will be more talented than the student when he walks through the door, typically. And then the Sifu helps the student, the disciple, develop to become strong and confident in his abilities. One day, the disciple may become more athletic, more stronger, maybe even more talented than the Sifu. But the disciple should always respect the Sifu and his authority over him. If he becomes very cocky and arrogant and wants to challenge the Sifu and beat up the Sifu and feel that he's better than the Sifu, there's something strongly lacking within spiritually. That disciple should be disowned. It's an understanding that people are helping you throughout your life. And in order for them to help you, they have to lessen their selfishness. They have to lessen their ego. And they have to give to you to help you. But when you become strong, you become capable, and you don't see that you should appreciate, but then now you want to abuse your power, there's something very wrong with that. So every martial artist should have somebody over him that he respects as an authority. Some master, some Sifu. If it is not a living person, then it has to be the way. It has to be the Tao, or the teachings of Buddha, or the teachings of any wise sage. You may not respect the law because you may see a lot of contradictions. But there is a way that humans should be guided by. A way that guides us towards the truth. And we gotta follow that way. So what I mean in particular, especially to the martial arts, is that you're dealing with power. First you are weak, and then you become powerful. Now when you become powerful, are you going to abuse your powers, or are you going to use your powers to help people and to help this world? If you're irresponsible, if you abuse your powers, then you do not deserve to be in power. And that's one of the biggest struggles worldwide. Not even in regards to just martial arts, but you see it in law enforcement. Officers abusing their authority, abusing their power. You see it in politics. Corrupted government officials. All over the world you'll see people that are abusing their powers. Corrupted people. So when you're dealing with power, there's always a high chance of corruption. And that is why the martial arts is very corrupted. Because people are not responsible with power. And that's all I'm promoting, is for people to be responsible with their powers. You know you may be more capable than somebody else, but it does not mean that you should hurt the other person or to prove that you're more capable. You can prove your capabilities in more peaceful ways. And that's what I promote. A martial artist should do the best that he can to keep the people that he trains with safe, while he keeps himself safe. He should only defend himself if he really needs to, not to entertain other people, not to become a bully. And it is the Sifu, it is the master, it is the sensei, or whoever you want to call it, that should teach the disciple or the student this. But I see a lot of people, especially with the internet nowadays, that want to practice the martial arts, but they have no master or Sifu or anybody to help guide them spiritually. And because they lack that guidance, they become very irresponsible with what they learn. So all I'm saying is that I promote people to be responsible, especially when you're dealing with techniques of combat that can potentially be very lethal.